Hi guys, I'm Shannon the Garden Girl from Georgina Garden Center. We are going to talk about starting seeds indoors today. So some seeds you're going to not start inside, you're going to leave them until the weather's nice and you're going to directly sow them outside. Things like that are a lot of cold crops. So beets, broccoli, cabbage, carrots, chard, chives, kale, peas, radishes, salad greens, things like that you can start directly outside. You could start them inside, but they like the cool weather. Most of them come up fairly quickly, and you can actually probably do succession plantings with them. That just leave those ones, especially if you don't have a lot of space inside, leave those ones to start outside once it's okay, usually April-ish, depending on our weather here in Ontario. Things you want to start inside, peppers and tomatoes for sure. They take a longer time to start from seed. On the back of each pack of seeds will tell you when. So these peppers here say anywhere from February to March, and they'll usually say how many weeks before your last frost. So anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. So these southwestern chilies that I'm going to grow this year, I have to start them now. So other things that you can start inside now, you could do broccoli and cabbage, even though you could directly sow outside when it's warm enough. You could start those inside if you wanted. You can do cauliflower, eggplant, some herbs to start inside, basil, hibiscus, which I'm going to try this year too. It's to make tea. So you can do hibiscus, you can start that inside. You can start lavender inside, oregano, rosemary, thyme, anything that kind of takes a little bit longer to get going. Because our season's so short here, you want to start inside. When you start inside, you want to start it in a really bright window, as bright as you possibly can. If you don't have enough light in your window, then that's when you get a grow light or some sort of supplemental light to help with that. If you don't have enough light, they bolt, they kind of get long and leggy, and they don't perform as well. Heat is also an important thing for starting seeds. If it's too cool, they take too long, could rot off or get disease type thing in the soil. So some people put a heating pad underneath. It just keeps the soil nice and warm so the seed will germinate. Some things that you can start inside or outside are watermelons. These ones are snap peas. I'm going to do those this year. And like I said before, basil. I've done basil before inside and outside. It really doesn't matter. It's just if you want to use it inside before it gets warmer out, start it now. Otherwise, you can directly sow it outside as well. Some things for sure to leave for outside sowing. Some vegetables do not like to be disturbed. Their roots don't like to be disturbed once they start growing. So things like cucumbers. I have some lemon cucumbers here. Cucumbers have to start outside. Don't start them inside. Another type of cucumbers, these little green finger cucumbers, zucchini, any squashes, corn, always start those outside. Beans, once they start growing, some of them don't like their roots disturbed, so they're in their pot, you buy them in, or you start them in the house, you put them outside, that's disturbing them. They just don't like that too much. And these all grow quick enough that just start them outside. A lot of those vining ones, you have to do the mound, put a few seeds in the top of the mound. So once you start outside, the evening temperature has to be 10 degrees Celsius consistently. Don't let it go below there. So beans, melon, zucchini, corn, cucumbers, any squashes, pumpkins, things like that, start outside once it's warm enough. And that usually ends up being towards the end of May. I know it seems like our season is all... It's funny, our season just starts then, but we seem like we're late, but at that time, but don't wait, or don't worry, wait until then. If you plant earlier, it's actually more harm than good to the plants. Two other things, you've started your tomatoes and peppers inside and they're growing nicely. A lot of people want to get them out because they're eager, or you get them in the store already planted. Don't put them outside until the beginning of June. The soil is just too cool in May. You might not see the effects immediately on the plant, but if you put a plant out in May, when it's still cool, the temperature fluctuates too much, and you put one out in June, the one in June will actually produce better for you especially by the end of the season, it will be the better producing plant. Just, it had the warm roots. don't put those, I can't stress that enough, don't put those ones outside too early. Just keep them inside in a nice warm spot, sunny window, and they'll be great. And you'll have lots of fruits and vegetables to harvest when the time comes.